The North American F-86 Sabre was one of the most significant and influential jet fighters of the 20th century, embodying the rapid technological evolution that characterized the post-World War II aviation era. Conceived by North American Aviation in the mid-1940s, the F-86 was designed in response to the U.S. Air Force's demand for a high-performance day fighter, capable of engaging enemy jets at transonic speeds. Its design roots trace back to the piston-engined P-51 Mustang, but the Sabre represented a complete reinvention of the concept of a fighter aircraft. Engineers, inspired by captured German research from the end of World War II, incorporated a 35-degree swept-wing configuration that drastically improved aerodynamic performance and delayed the onset of shock waves near the sound barrier. This design choice allowed the F-86 to operate effectively at speeds approaching Mach 1, a feat that placed it at the forefront of early jet technology. Powered initially by the General Electric J47 turbojet engine, later refined in various submodels, the Sabre could reach speeds up to 1,107 kilometers per hour, 687 miles per hour, climb to altitudes exceeding 15,000 meters, 49,000 feet, and sustain tight turns at high speed with remarkable stability. Its bubble canopy provided excellent all-around visibility, a crucial advantage in dogfighting, while its hydraulic flight controls and advanced air brakes gave pilots superior maneuverability compared to many contemporaries. Early production versions, such as the F-86A, entered service in 1949, and by the time of the Korean War in 1950, the F-86 was already becoming the backbone of American air power. The Korean War was the crucible in which the Sabre earned its legendary reputation. Facing the Soviet-designed MiG-15 Faggot, which outperformed most Western jets at the time, the Sabre quickly became the only Allied aircraft capable of matching it in speed, altitude, and firepower. Air battles over the Yalu River region, dubbed MiG Alley, became a testing ground for jet-age tactics. American pilots, including many World War II veterans, exploited the Sabre's superior diving ability, roll rate, and radar-ranging gunsight to score decisive victories. The introduction of the A1CM radar gunsight allowed pilots to calculate lead automatically, a major advancement over traditional aiming methods. Despite the MiG-15's advantage in climb rate and ceiling, the Sabre's overall balance, handling precision, and rugged reliability ensured dominance in the skies. Official U.S. Air Force figures credited F-86 pilots with shooting down nearly 800 MiGs for the loss of about 80 Sabres, a claimed kill ratio of 10-1, though later Soviet sources suggested a smaller but still decisive margin in favor of the Sabre. The F-86's armament typically consisted of 6 .5 caliber M3 Browning machine guns, capable of delivering devastating bursts of fire, though later versions, such as the F-86H and F-86K, introduced 20mm cannons for increased destructive power. In addition to its fighter role, the Sabre was also adapted for fighter-bomber missions, carrying up to 2,000 pounds of bombs or unguided rockets, allowing it to strike ground targets with considerable precision. The aircraft's adaptability made it suitable not only for air superiority missions, but also for interdiction and close air support. The Sabre family evolved rapidly through numerous variants. The F-86E featured an all-flying tailplane, which improved control at high speeds, while the F-86F introduced a stronger engine and a 6-3 wing without leading-edge slats, increasing maneuverability and speed at high altitudes. The later F-86H version was a more powerful fighter bomber equipped with the J73 engine and capable of carrying tactical nuclear weapons, reflecting the shift in U.S. military doctrine during the Cold War. Production of the F-86 extended beyond the United States, with over 9,800 units built worldwide. Canada produced more than 1,800 aircraft under license as the Canadair Sabre, which was used by several NATO countries. Similarly, versions were built in Australia by the Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation, CAC Sabre, in Japan by Mitsubishi, and in Italy by Fiat. The aircraft served with over 30 air forces around the world, including those of Britain, France, Germany, and Pakistan. In fact, the F-86 played an important role in the Indo-Pakistani Wars of the 1960s, where it proved its enduring combat effectiveness against newer aircraft. Beyond its combat record, the F-86 became a symbol of Western technological prowess during the Cold War. Its sleek aerodynamic lines, characteristic nose intake, and swept wings made it an instantly recognizable silhouette, representing the dawn of the jet age. It served as a stepping stone for future jet fighters, influencing the design of the F-100 Super Sabre, the world's first operational supersonic fighter, and shaping American air combat doctrine for decades. The aircraft also excelled in peacetime roles, breaking several speed and altitude records. In 1948, test pilot George Welch reportedly exceeded the speed of sound in a shallow dive, and in 1949, Major Richard Bong achieved a world speed record of 1,179 kilometers per hour in an F-86. The Sabre remained in frontline service throughout the 1950s and continued to serve in training and secondary roles well into the 1970s. It was a favorite among pilots for its smooth handling, agility, and forgiving nature, qualities that made it both a lethal weapon in combat and a joy to fly. Even after retirement, many examples found their ways into museums and private collections, and several remain airworthy today as part of vintage flight demonstrations. In essence, the North American F-86 Sabre was not just a fighter, it was a milestone in aviation history. It represented the perfect balance between engineering innovation, aerodynamic refinement, and combat effectiveness. From the frozen skies of Korea to airfields across the globe, the Sabre proved that speed, precision, and pilot skill could triumph in the new age of jet warfare. Its legacy endures as a symbol of the technological leap that transformed air combat in the mid-20th century and laid the groundwork for the supersonic era that followed.